Ever since a young age, I've had a special connection with cars. I love the way they look. I love the way they sound. I love the way they make me feel. While other kids my age were surrounding themselves with Harry Potter books or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or Dinotopia, if you even know what that is, I surrounded myself with Car and Driver and Motor Trend magazines. Cars were my passion. At the age of 12, I was offered a job. A man named Jim Wasson, who was 78 years old, approached me and he said, "I have a job for you." He was a wealthy old man who had never married, and he had a special prized collection of Chevrolet muscle cars. And I'm sure a few of you might recognize these names, such as Chevelle, or Camaro, or Stingray Corvette, or Shelby Cobras. All of these cars were in this hangar. And as his employee, my job was to make sure that they were cleaned and maintained properly. I would run them, I would wash them, I would sit in them for hours. I loved cars. One day, I hoped to be able to drive. And I was always wondering if I one day could own a car such as those that Jim had. One day, when I was 15 and a half, Jim softly pulled me aside and he said, "Taylor, you've worked well. You've worked very hard for me and my cars are well maintained. When you're 16 years old, you bring me your license, I'll give you one of these cars." That was my dream. My life was complete. I worked so hard to make sure my Eagle project was done. I worked so hard to make sure that I was ready to have my license in my hand on my 16th birthday. When I was 16 years old, my parents dropped me off and I strutted up to Jim Wasson's home. He had seen me through the shutters and he came out to greet me. He had a smile from ear to ear. Out front, I saw the shape of a car underneath a car cover, and I kind of recognized the profile of it. As we peeled back the cover, I saw a deep midnight blue color. It was a 1969 Chevrolet Camaro Super Sport, midnight blue with white stripes, with a 4-speed transmission, black leather interior. It was a beautiful car. However, I only had that car for 2 weeks. This is what happened. About 2 weeks later, I find myself at a red light by myself on a street called Rosewood. Now, the speed limit there is 35 miles an hour. As I'm sitting there, a younger man, drives up next to me, and guess what car he has? He has a yellow Chevrolet Corvette. He looks at me, I look at him, and we know what's going to happen. Light turns green, and we go. And as we're going, I see a car that appears to be white. Then it starts to look a little more black. Then it looks white and black. I see the Corvette slam on his brakes. 1969 Camaro doesn't have very good brakes. It was a policeman. What did I do? I hit the gas. Went up to the next corner, took a turn, tried to double back. He caught me. License suspended, grounded for life. Jim fired me from working for him, and he took his car back. About 8 months later, my parents got tired of lugging me around, and so on Christmas, my parents did the unexpected. Many of them called them insane for getting me a motorcycle. It was a Kawasaki Ninja. A lot of people thought, why would you get your maniac street racing son a motorcycle? But my parents were going to teach me 3 valuable lessons, which I will share with you tonight. Everyone at BYU should ride and own a motorcycle. First off, they're very economical. Secondly, you're a better defensive driver when you ride a motorcycle. And lastly, they're just plain fun. Now, first off, we'll talk about why they're economically the best decision. All of us have seen the gas prices rise over the last few months, and with gas prices projected to reach even $6 per gallon, a lot of BYU students are wondering, what are we going to do? How am I going to afford to commute? A study done by the U.S. Department of Energy said that even the most economical American cars average less than 20 miles per gallon in heavy traffic conditions, while motorcycles, on the other hand, average 56 miles per gallon, putting a few extra dollars in your pocket. Also, the Consumer Reports in the study done this year in January of 2012 showed that the average cost of owning a car is fairly expensive. It's anywhere from $2,000 to $3,700 per month, while the cost of owning a motorcycle, that includes payments, that includes insurance, that includes maintenance and fuel, is less than $1,200 per year. Very, very economical. Now, secondly, motorcycles make you a better defensive driver. Now, all of us are probably guilty of this. All of us have seen the small college-sized cars packed to twice their capacity with rowdy passengers, with the music blasting, with people covering the driver's eyes. Here in Provo, there's really no more dangerous situation. On a motorcycle, however, there's no AC, there's no radio, there's no temptation to pick up your cell phone or else you would crash. So therefore, on a motorcycle, you're more at one with the road, and you are more fully concentrated on the driving experience. In California, the Department of Motor Vehicles did a test, and they, on average, found that the average car driver scanned about 3 to 4 seconds ahead, while the average motorcyclist scanned an average of 5 to 6 seconds ahead, thus enabling a motorcyclist to be able to predict travel patterns and travel movements with more consistency, therefore preventing accidents in the future. Those defensive driving techniques on a motorcycle therefore transfer to a car, making you a better driver overall. Now, how many of you have ever ridden a motorcycle? Isn't it the best feeling in the world? Riding a motorcycle is the best. There really is no better feeling than having the sun on your back, a loved one right sitting behind you, and the wind in your face. You can smell the plants, you can smell the flowers, you can feel the damp, cool air running off the stream as you drive through the Provo Canyon. And even in the wintertime, you can say goodbye to scraping your windshield. You just pull off that motorcycle cover, hop on it, and you're bundled up stuff, and you're very comfortable as well. No more slipping and sliding on the sidewalks. You pull into your prime parking spot here on BYU campus. Tonight, we've talked about 3 reasons why everybody should own a motorcycle. First off, it's economically more safe. Secondly, it makes you a better defensive driver. And last, it's just plain fun. While a lot of people consider my parents to be insane for getting me a motorcycle, I'm very happy that they were able to teach me these valuable lessons. Since then, I have never gotten a ticket, haven't been caught street racing, and haven't been involved in an accident, and I'm proud to say that. Just as Alexander Smith once said, everything is sweetened by risk, and that definitely is the case with motorcycles.